Excited. Ask me anything.
I love it. Well, welcome to the Seraphine podcast.
Thank you so much.
I am Seraphine Arocha, and this is Dominic Franco.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
I am over the moon that you are here. I have heard nothing but good things about you. And I first want to start out by just saying welcome.
Thank you.
Your energy is exactly what I needed.
Thank
I
you.
have been in the COVID cloud. I have been in the, I don't know, cloud, just the cloud.
Absolutely.
And it feels so great to be around energy that is just,
Yes.
So, Dominic, you are the first male dancer cheerleader on the Chiefs. Is that
Yes.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Freaking love that. I think dance for me has always been a big, huge outlet for me, especially now more than ever. I've been craving after I teach my classes at Woodside.
Yes.
I have my music and I'm like, God, all I want to do is dance in this studio.
Oh, girl. You should come see me at F45. I literally have my own dance party.
I love it.
It is dance party karaoke night again, featuring the one and only me and no one else.
I love it.
It's so much fun, so I love that.
So how did you start out in dance? Was it at a young age, or was it in high school when you were like, I'm going to just try it out?
I feel like I have a different path than most dancers. I mean, nowadays it's very normal to start, even 2-3 years old. I started dancing, really taking classes when I was 9, didn't take it seriously until I was 11. So actually a little bit later, especially for male dancers too. I mean, I was never naturally flexible, so I feel like I lost a little bit of time to gain that flexibility back, but I started when I was 9, took it seriously when I was 11, and then just from there, I think my mom was like, okay, this kid really loves it because he will not stop dancing and knocking over the TV. So I've always just had it. It's been a part of my life, but I started around that age. And then from there, I just knew there was never a doubt in my mind that I didn't want to do anything else. There was just something in me that was like, dance is going to be a part of my life forever.
Yeah.
And I just loved it. So then I started just taking rec classes about once or twice a week. Finally, when I was 11, my mom was like, you got invited to be a part of the competition team at the studio. And I was living in Michigan at the time.
Okay.
And my mom was like, if you do this is going to be a huge time commitment. And I want you to know, you are still a child. You're going to have to give up some of your time with your friends. And I kid you not, my mom could not force me out of the dance studio. I was being like, Mom, I want to sleep over here. Mom, I don't want to leave. And she was like, oh my God, this kid is crazy. Dominic, it's 8 o'clock on a Saturday. We have to leave the dance studio. And so I have always loved it. And it was just always a part of my life.
What were some of the inspirations for, when you were there are things on TV you watched? For me, Baryshnikov. I'm a little older. I'm going to show you my age here, but I remember seeing Baryshnikov for the first time as a child, around 7. My mom always dabbled in ballet, and I just lived in this world of this beautiful Russian man who would leap and bound. And I wanted to be able to do it.
Stunning.
So who were some of your inspiration, the people that you aspired to be?
I think that's actually a very funny now kind of question to answer, because I don't think that there was ever a gender influence on me, which I think was great.
Yeah.
Because I really loved watching the cheerleaders, which is kind of weird. It's kind of like a full circle now, because there are pictures of me with pom-poms in my hand when I was 4 years old. And I just remember my family being like, oh, he's going to be a dancer. Look at him with his pom-poms. Look at him. And I would always just try to do what the cheerleaders did.
Yeah.
And we have old VHS tapes with me doing this. And so I think that I really got my first spark from watching the cheerleaders on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And from there, my family always jokes that I learned to dance before I learned to walk. I was always moving and grooving around the house. Always bumping. Something was thudding. I was hitting something. I was always whatever. And so I think that my initial spark was the cheerleaders. And then as I started taking some dance classes, I was super thankful that the very first studio that I went to had many, many boys.
Yeah.
If I had to do all the boys in the whole studio, it would be well over 30.
Yeah.
Very, very many. And then I went from that to being the only male at a studio once I moved to Connecticut. So a different type, but male dancers have just always been a part of my life. So I never thought of it as something unique.
At age 43, I went to go see Quixotic this last weekend. It was one of their final shows. I got, there was this kind of sweet melancholy of like, oh, I used to be able to do quite a bit of, and your body, but you have to know when to give your body a break, and you also have to understand that the seasons of your life.
Yes.
So right now you're at where I call like the pinnacle season, where it sounds like if you ideally you'd like to be with the Chiefs for a few more years.
Yes.
And then from there, my question to you is balance right now with Chiefs, with your job, and then you're just like this explosive heart. So I'm guessing that you do work philanthropy wise through the Chiefs, but also has there been things that you've been inspired to give back?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that, so I've actually taught dance since I was 17.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely. I've been my dance teacher / boss now.
Yeah.
I mean, she has been my second mom ever since I've been 15. Oh. And so she taught me so much, and she has given me so many opportunities because she knew that I loved choreographing and loved teaching. So I have been so grateful that I have been able to teach since I was 17. And I think that is where I start feeling my giving back now, which is, it's fueling my soul for performing in a different way. Yeah. I mean, just last night, so I teach at a couple studios locally here as well. And the girls that I had last night, I mean, it was a class late at night, 8 o'clock at night, going till 9:30. I mean, these girls are tired. They have school, especially with COVID and everything right now. Like, there's just so much that they are having to deal with. The last thing I want them to do is come into my class thinking that they have to be stressed about learning something. Yeah. And so I looked at them and I go, you know what, girls, like we're going to work on stuff tonight, but let's just breathe. Let's just have a moment. Let's just like take a second to escape from reality real quick. And I think that like we set that tone from the beginning. Yeah. And so many girls improved just within this hour and a half class. I mean, we worked on things, and going back to your question now, what fuels my fire now and what like I love to give back and what I get out of it now is seeing them now grow and now get something where something just clicks and they go, oh, that's what it's supposed to feel like. That makes sense. And so last night we were working on extensions and flexibility stuff, which I cannot do, but I love teaching though. Oh, it's my favorite. And this one girl who has legs for days just wasn't in the proper alignment or placement of it. As soon as she like fixed herself and I like helped her get through that, I mean, the smile on her face, the light bulb, and it wasn't even like oh my God, it was almost like a whoa. Yeah. Like I just did that. Yeah. That is what selfishly for me personally now just makes my heart so happy. The fact that they are now like, wow, that makes sense. That I just did that. Yeah. Like I didn't know that I could do that before. It's incredible just to like see people in their element. Yeah. And so I remember, my brother and I, very different. He's a computer engineer. Yeah. He's, I mean, doing very well for himself. I'm like the proudest little brother ever. And he's always been that way with me too. But growing up, he was like the football jock, computer nerd, like I was a dancer, a little bit more of the outgoing, like Mr. Personality person. And we made a deal because he never wanted to come to my dance recitals. And I don't blame him. They were 4 hours long and I wouldn't want to go through that either if I were just in the audience. Yeah. And I was like, I don't want to go to your Friday night football games either. He goes, all right, let's just make a deal. We don't have to. And I was like, perfect. And so my mom was like, did you guys really just make a deal that you guys weren't going to go to each other's stuff? And we're like, yeah, but we're like, we're cool with it. So it wasn't until though that I was getting older that my brother was like, hey, I need to drop something off to you. Where are you? I'm like, I'm teaching at the dance studio. And so he's like, okay, cool. So he meets me there. And like, I mean, this is a guy who has never stepped in a dance studio in his life. And I was just in my element. Yeah. Like, and I was just like, I remember I was like in the back of the studio, my girls were there and we were drilling something. And I get home that night and he goes, I did not understand how you were like in your element until I saw it. And he was like, watching you be in your element and watching you teach and instruct and like help morph these kids' lives. He was like, that was the coolest thing I could have ever seen, more so than if you were dancing by yourself on stage. He goes, because I could tell that your heart was in it to help these kids.
What I love is that you're being male dancer, cheerleader, to me is completely like, yes, there needs to be more.
Yes,
It shouldn't
absolutely.
be, I don't know, like this special, like you're a
Yes.
unicorn,
Yes.
you know?
Oh, absolutely not.
So I guess my next question to you is that when you're thinking about how your career, your trajectory of your dance career is, and this hiccup of COVID, what has come out of it? Has there been a little bit of an evolution in your teaching, your movement, you as a personal dancer? And what has become something that you feel like, oh, I'm a little panicked because I need to go back and hone those skills, like something you left on the wayside.
Yes.
So something that's evolved and something that you're like, I need to put more care into that.
Absolutely. Starting with evolved, I mean, Chiefs right off the bat.
Yeah.
I can wholeheartedly say that I would not be in Kansas City if it weren't for COVID.
Wow.
Just because of my time. I was performing professionally, and I mean, super thankful for that because that's all I did when I was in LA. But I was going from show to show to show, and I never had time to pause that, to come out here, audition, and then go back to my normal life and see what happens. So when COVID happened, actually, it was the biggest blessing for me because I was able to do that in LA, not having to be here. Yeah. And so I think that what evolved from it is my career now, and where like my physical place of being in Kansas City now and being in the seat with you and talking, because if it weren't for that, I wouldn't be here, which I know obviously COVID is just a hard time for everyone right now, and we're struggling to find the light in it right now. But I remind myself every day that I'm blessed because of it, because if not, I wouldn't be here. Yeah. So that's, I think professionally, I've gained so much out of it. What I feel like I now need to hone in on a little bit more is like me and my technique. And cause I mean, like there's no dance studio, there wasn't a dance studio that I could go to at the beginning of COVID because everything was shut down. And I mean, you lose things because I mean, I wasn't stretching as much. I wasn't doing all my technique that I was doing. I wasn't teaching as much. I wasn't in even my teaching element where I was helping people. So I almost felt a little bit trapped, being like, oh, I have all this creative energy that I just need to let out right now, and I can't. Yeah. And so, but I mean, I'm just thankful that like right now I'm back in the classroom, and I'm back teaching my girls, and I'm back having my alone time by myself, doing my technique and everything. So we're back on the right track. But it was definitely it's definitely been a bittersweet time. Yeah. But I have to still say that I'm very thankful for COVID in a really weird way. I didn't understand the feeling of being at the right place in the right time. Yeah. But if I could encompass that in like a physical feeling, that's what it would be. I love it. That there are some things like, you know what, that you may have to push for, that you work for, but there's just something about the sereneness and the nirvana, I guess, that of just taking a breath and knowing that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Yeah. And I think that is the best feeling ever. Yeah. I mean, I've been so blessed and thankful for all the experiences that I've been able to do now, especially here in Kansas City with all these opportunities. Yeah. And when you're in it, nothing else matters except for just being with the people around you and knowing that this is literally where you're supposed to be. And nothing else in the world matters. Doesn't matter what you're doing after. Doesn't matter what happened before. When you're in it, that's it. There's no better place to be. And it's cool because I think that right now we're all focused on like, oh, the future. What am I going to do in 5 years? What am I going to do in 10 years? What am I going to do with the rest of my life? Yeah. But in that moment, that doesn't matter. Oh, honey, you are preaching to the choir. You know, tomorrow's not guaranteed. Absolutely. And I think that is what I get constantly reminded of, is that, especially during COVID times right now, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Yeah. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. 5 minutes from now is not guaranteed. Yeah. So when you're in that moment, you're reminded, you know what, just enjoy now. Yeah. Because now is gone now. Yeah. And just live in the moment and just breathe. I mean, just take a second and just be thankful for where you are, because when you feel that you're in the right place at the right time, there's no better feeling.
No. I absolutely have loved this time with you, and I'd love to have you back.
Absolutely.
Again, I'm not even joking when I say we need to talk all things movies and musicals.
Girl, I would go on for days. Don't get me started.
But it feels so good to know someone's wearing a uniform that represents our city.
Thank you.
That is being in the moment and here. Like, you're not thinking about what happened yesterday, not happened tomorrow. You are here. You're cheering for our team. You're cheering for our city. And I can tell you now, you have a bunch of cheerleaders here from the Seraphine podcast. We love you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been absolutely incredible.
You are a light. I love it. Well, thank you so much for watching today. And please, please, please like and subscribe. And Dominic, I was going to ask you, where can people see more of you? Are you on Instagram? Are you on social media?
I am absolutely on social media. Yes. Absolutely. So my Instagram handle is @d.franco95. That's mostly where I'm at. I do have a Twitter that's a little bit not as active.
Yeah.
I usually just scroll for the funny stuff there. And
that's
then
my TikTok.
Absolutely, for sure, on Facebook as well. But no, I mean, I try to keep my Instagram as up to date as possible. I love it. I'm on it 24/7. So absolutely, but definitely find me there. I would love to just talk more about this and just be a part of this.
I love it. Well, we're going to have more of Dominic for sure. And I can't wait to see his journey, not only with the Chiefs, but here in the community. He is a dancer. He's giving back to the community, and he's just a freaking amazing, amazing person.
Thank you so much.
Again, if you like this, please click the subscribe button. And I can't even say the words because I am overwhelmed with all the goodness of Dominic. I will see you guys later on the flip side. See you later.
Bye, guys.